Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Studio Spotlight 9. It is so good to have you here. I still love the intro video that we have here. Oh, man.
That's
It's so
fantastic.
okay. Our guest today is the one and only Mr. Bryce Poole. Bryce, it's good to meet you. I've only talked to you a handful of times,
Yep.
but I know from what I've seen so far, you got some incredible things that you're doing
Oh, you stop.
and that you're helping people with. And I just want to turn the time over to you because I know you are gonna blow people's minds.
Well, it would be my pleasure to blow at least one person's mind. And if you feel your mind is blown, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. So I'm betting at some point in your life, you may have been like me and you realized it's not the fancy things in life that makes life work. It's the minivan of success that really makes it go around. Let me tell you what I mean. So I used to drive a Toyota Camry. It was a used Toyota Camry, very used. And we had 5 kids and we couldn't afford a lot. So I drove that Toyota Camry, a couple of Toyota Camrys for about 15 years. And by the time we were done with it, it was 20 years old. And it was time for a newer Camry. I was looking for something without manual windows or manual locks. So we saved up a bunch of money and we got my wife a minivan. So then we saved up some more money and I went to go get me a used Toyota Camry and I ended up with an even more used Porsche Boxster. Now, I was so excited to have that vehicle. It is so much fun. It's this little sports car, and it was the same price as the Camry. It just has 100,000 miles on it. So if you baby it, it is so great. And I love that little car. And it is zippy, and it goes from 0 to 55 like so fast. But it didn't always fix the problems that I thought it would fix for me. You see, a couple years after that, our TV broke. And when Black Friday rolled around, I went to the Best Buy ads and found a Blockbuster, or not a Blockbuster, but a Doorbuster TV that was a 45-inch 4K flat screen TV for $250. I was like, yes, that'll fit in the budget. So I was so excited all the way up until I realized it was a doorbuster. Because if it's a doorbuster, you got to get up at 6 a.m., you got to fight with the crowds, and then you got to bite someone before you're able to get what you want. So when Friday rolled around, I just slept in. And at the middle of the day, I was getting bored. So I'm just going to go to Best Buy and get myself a beard trimmer, because I need to look extra fly. I get over there and I go to look at all the TVs. And the first thing I see is a sign on the ground for a 45-inch flat screen TV for $250, where just as I'd anticipated, it was where a big pile of TVs were, and they were no longer there. It was all gone. You win some, you lose some, c'est la vie. So I went around and I looked at the expensive TVs, the $1,000 TVs, the $3,000 TVs, the $5,000 TVs, and just enjoyed myself. Just as I was about to leave, I against the wall, I saw 2 TVs just pushed up against the wall. I thought, that's weird. And I looked over, and one was a 45-incher. I thought, no, that couldn't be. So I grabbed it, and I took it over to the cashier, and sure enough, it was a doorbuster TV. So being a good husband, I said, hey, wife, I just found a TV, and I didn't even have to buy it anybody. She's like, you should buy it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. So I bought it. I was so excited. And I took it out to the parking lot without a shopping cart. Thank you very much. Just waddled it out to the parking lot. And that's when I realized which car I had driven to Best Buy to get a beard trimmer that day. I brought the Porsche. I brought the sports car to get a beard trimmer. So, okay, I'm like, all right. So the wife is busy for the next 2 hours, so she can't come get me. I'm not leaving this TV on the ground. Maybe I can fit it in the trunk. It didn't fit in the trunk. Maybe I'll just fit it in the passenger side. It won't get past the door. Crap, okay. Well, it happens to be a convertible, so what if I drop the top? I could set it down where the passenger is, and then I could put the top back up. Because this is Portland, Oregon. It's either raining or about to rain. So I gently put it in, and it gets stuck on the center console. It won't go farther. And even worse, it's stuck on the gear shift. I'm like, oh man. And now it's not only is it stuck in there, it now is sticking out of the top of my Porsche, like a full foot. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, well, I still got first gear. I got second gear. I got fourth and sixth gear. I can make it home. So I took off. And I look like an idiot driving down the highway with the TV sticking out of my car. But you know what? This is Portland, Oregon. They've seen way weirder stuff than this. And I make it home. Now, when I realized when I got home, I could have had that minivan with me. And had I had that minivan, I could have got a TV. I could have got some groceries. I could have got a whole mess full of lumber. And I could have protected it from the elements and the rain. But I'd taken the Porsche, not the minivan. You see, sometimes the flashy thing isn't the thing that we need. It's the minivan of success. So before we go on and talk a little bit about this minivan of success, I want you to think about your life and write down, if you'd like, what is a problem that you might have right now that you're trying to solve? So just for a second, 5 or 6 words, just write down, what are you trying to solve? I'll wait. Excellent. Now, all of us have a gut instinct on what we think is the problem, okay? So I'd like you to write down right now what you think the answer to that problem is. What do you think the solution is going to look like? 5 or 6 words, maybe 7. Go ahead. Excellent. Okay, so as I've gone through my growth process, what I found is when you're trying to create something, you kind of have to have 3 things in place. So I call this my creation formula. Okay. So as you can see, 3 bullets, three circles, three things. So the very first thing that you need is the mindset to be in place for whatever it is that you're trying to create. So if you're trying to create something like you're trying to buy a car, you're trying to start a new relationship, you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do, you've got to have your mindset in place or else you're not going to have the success you want. And we'll come back to mindset in just a second. Next, you have to have the tool set that you need. You're going to have the tools. That might be knowledge of how to do something, knowledge of how something works. It might be a literal physical tool like a hammer or a wrench, or it might be something important that you have that helps you to get where you want to go. Then lastly, but not least, is the energy to succeed at it, the energy to implement, to execute on your vision. So you need to have first your mindset in place. You next have to have the things that you need to succeed, your tool set. And then lastly, you got to have your energy. Now, let's talk a little bit about mindsets. Your subconscious, deep down inside, has a belief system. It's about all the things that you believe about the world, how the world works, whether the world's nice to you, whether the world's mean to you, whether you get the things that you work for or you don't, okay? That creates an expectation about what your world it looks like. Now, let's imagine a mindset that looks kind of like what you're seeing here. I believe in myself. Success takes time, and I got time. I do what I say. Life just works for me. Failure is when I say it is, right? This person with this kind of a mindset, they're destined for success. Whatever they go off to create, it's going to happen because they can do it. They believe in themselves. Even if they have setbacks, if they have obstacles, it's not really a failure. Not until they give up, and they're not about to give up. So let's consider a second person now that has a very similar mindset, but it's got one thing that the other one doesn't have. This very pernicious, awful, poisonous belief called, I don't deserve good things. Now, this is not an atypical belief. This is a very typical for people to work with or to have. I work with a lot of people, and a lot of people have something very similar deep down in their subconscious called, I don't deserve good things. Those kind of people have they say that you have like a hole in your toolbox and all the good stuff falls out and you just fail at whatever you try. And this is very true. This belief will cause you to second guess yourself, will cause you to make poor decisions, will cause you to see those failures and those obstacles as giant mountains that cannot be overcome. They stop you. This belief, I call it poisonous because it stops you. It prevents you from moving forward. Now, let me give you an example of what I have. I grew up in rural Idaho with my wife, She lived 3 miles away. We're not like married or anything. This isn't Alabama. Come on, this is Idaho. So in rural Idaho, we have a sort of cultural belief around rich people are evil and poor farmers are the salt of the earth. In fact, they're practically God. Okay, so that's the belief system that we started out, the two of us together. Now, you can imagine that someone that believes rich people are evil and poor people are righteous is going to have a little money problem. And that's what we found out. When we started out together, our bank account, our checking account would go up to about $3,000 and it would stop at $3,000. If we went further than $3,000 and some money came in, oh my goodness, the car needed fixed and we needed new tires and we had to do this and we had to do this, had to be done right away. And we'd spend our way back down to $3,000. Now, mind you, we didn't do this on purpose. We saw this when we returned back and looked at our statements and started to see 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. Okay. Or if we went down below 3,000, like to 2,000, suddenly we'd tighten our belt, we'd pull back on the reins a little bit, and pretty soon we would be back up to 3,000 again. Now, again, we weren't doing this consciously. It just sort of happened. Now, obviously, rich people are evil and poor people are righteous. As we started to clear on those particular types of beliefs, we noticed something again. As we looked back in our statements, instead of 3,000, suddenly it all looked an awful lot like we were maintaining $4,000 in our account. As we cleared some more, that 4,000 moved to 5,000. Then that 5,000 moved to 7 and then to 10. Recently, we sold our house and moved from Portland, Oregon, back to Idaho. And we had, for a while, over $100,000 in our checking account. And you know what? I didn't freak out. It didn't feel like weird to me. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. As we cleared these poisonous, awful beliefs out of our belief system, our financial ceiling raised and raised. How cool is that? See, I didn't think at first that my belief system could change. I thought I was stuck forever. I thought that, you know what, this is just what happened and this is who you are and that's it forever. Well, that's not the case. You see, we learned our belief set, our mindset, our beliefs all through our lives. We picked it up a lot when we were young from parents, from other adults, of people we trust, our friends, school children, school teachers. Everybody around us has added to that belief system. Well, did you hear that? They added to it. If you can add, you can subtract. So that's what we found. We started doing clearing methods, and we found all sorts of clearing methods, and one seemed to be the most powerful. And that's the one I want to talk to you a little bit today. But what we called this whole thing was deep mind clearing. Now, we called it deep mind clearing because it is more than just that clearing method. It is, what is the subconscious? How does it work? Why does this clearing method work at all? Why can we pull things out so easily? And why are they gone forever? Then after that, the mindset. What mindset do you have to hold? Because we found we had a certain mindset that got us to success, got us to work the way we wanted to work. It was really cool. So that clearing method, I'm going to tell you just real quick about it. It's called The Work by Byron Katie. Now, Byron Katie is a girl, okay? Now, whoever parents named their daughter Byron, like, come on, there's creative names, but Byron for a girl? Anyway, she goes by Katie, as you can guess, and she came up with a series of questions that you ask yourself around a belief that's a poisonous belief or a limiting belief, and that helps the subconscious to release it itself. You don't release it, the subconscious releases it. So neat. So let me just share the work light for you, okay? So now the work light would be if you ask two questions. First question would be, who am I when I believe this thought? Now, if this is a negative, poisonous, hurtful belief, the results are generally hurtful and poisonous. So I'm in pain. I hurt. I'm sad. I feel emotional pain. I feel frustration. I feel stuck. I feel like my progress can only go up, like my financial account can only go up to so much, and then I'm stuck there. I can't go any further. Then the second follow-up question to that is, well, then who would you be if you didn't think this thought? Well, generally, without that poisonous belief, I feel happier, feel more joyful, like lighter. Life would go easier. I could create what I wanted to create. Now, just those two questions alone are almost, I could say, even enough to clear out and remove things out of the subconscious and hit the delete button inside the subconscious. It's just that easy. It really is. And that's what I'm so excited about, is because I get to help people. Now, let me give you a quick example of what I'm referring to when I help people. So this is Miriam. Miriam's a fantastic person, and I love her dearly. We caught each other when she was around 26 years old. At around the age of 20, she started to use bulimia as a means to control her weight. She was throwing up or purging 3 to 7 times a day. Now that works about, roughly 2,000 times a year. Okay, so we sat down and we did deep mind clearing together. We cleared for her. We helped her understand what the beliefs were she was that were poisonous for her. We helped her clear them out. We helped her to see around them and gave her the mindset she needed. Oddly enough, she's kind of a special one because we did a 3-hour session for her. We don't normally do that, but we did it for her because she was making such great progress. And at the end, the next day, she woke up. She didn't purge at all that day. She went from 3 to 7 times a day to the very next day. She didn't purge. The day after that, nothing. The day after that, again, nothing. She had wanted it so badly to change. She had throat infections. She was motivated to stop, but she couldn't because inside her belief, these thoughts compelled her to continue. And once those thoughts were gone, the compelling was gone, not there anymore, and her motivation got to take over. And she had the freedom, the profound freedom, to choose what she wanted to do next. Now, I called her recently, it's been about 10 years, and I asked her, how permanent was this for you? And she's like, Bryce, in the last 7 years, I've purged maybe once a year. So she went from 2,000 times a year to 1 time a year. Now, that's what I call a result. She is in better health than she's been in a long time, and she's happier, and she accepts herself better than she ever has. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about the profound changes that profound freedom or deep mind clearing gives. That's why we call it profound changes. Now, who found this valuable, right? Was this valuable to you? Would you mind if I took a second to show you what it would look like to work with me? Would that be okay? Just to take a second? I appreciate it. Well, you see, we did create this deep mind clearing. We created it in a means to help people move past their limiting beliefs, those poisonous beliefs. And what can happen when you get rid of those poisonous beliefs? Well, it turns out you can get out of your own way. Those beliefs are compelling you in a way that is not in your highest good. What we do is we pluck those out. And when those are gone, your natural desires come shining through, and you're capable of creating the whatever you want. So I like to call this getting out of your own way. When I was a kid, I was taught you ask permission before you do anything. Well, that followed me into adulthood. That was not a useful belief. We can help you get rid of that, and you give yourself permission to succeed. We can help you take your financial ceiling away so that you can grow and grow. That's the we love that, by the way. It feels so much better to have that extra room in our budget so that we can make choices and we have more freedom again. When you get rid of those nasty, gnarly beliefs, it leaves you in a place of peace. You have a natural state of peace inside you. And if you don't have that peace, you're not enjoying that, let us help you take those pieces away and leave you with peace. See what I did there? And then lastly, if you hold beliefs that conflict with each other, what you end up is at war. You're not enough. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. And all that war, all that ever happens, well, nothing good happens except for you end up with no energy, and that's what you end up with. That's all the progress that gets made is your energy just gets whittled away. So without that war inside, you're left with more mental energy, and that's time you can use for you. So Deep Mind Clearing is a set of videos, 5 videos that I created and with my wife. And we go through and we're going to tell you about the subconscious. We're going to tell you how the subconscious works. We're going to tell you why the work works. We're going to show you an example of it. My son was awesome enough to let me experiment on him on camera. Not experiment, demonstrate. Demonstrate, such a better word. He let us demonstrate on camera what a real breakthrough session looks like, because I do breakthrough sessions with people. And in that one, we recorded it and we include that as part of these videos. We've included a bonus video at the very end of that entire 1 hour session if you want to see what it looks like to go through an entire full session. We include worksheets to help you get it done, to really help it get into your brain. And then, of course, you can do it on your schedule whenever you want to. And we try to make it bite-sized and easy to get through. Now, let me tell you a quick story about Dan. So Dan was upset because he killed someone. You see, he was driving a spud truck when he was 16, a potato truck in Idaho. We call them spuds. He was driving a potato truck, and he was backing into the cellar. And when he did that, he'd been doing this over and over and over again, as you often do during potato harvest. Well, this one time, his friend stepped into the wrong place, and his friend was crushed behind his truck, and his friend died. Now, did he kill that person? No, not intentionally. It was textbook case. It was an accident. But he didn't believe that. He believed he was responsible. Now, you can imagine the guilt and shame and pain he went through because his subconscious is trying to make sure that never happened again because it hurt so bad. Well, now he's got pain, shame, and guilt, and he's got to deal with that. So he took up drinking alcohol. And before you know it, the solution became the problem, and he was an alcoholic. And he would go on week-long, 2-week-long benders where he would be drunk consistently, constantly for those whole time. Well, at the end, he would come out, and he said it was the worst thing ever, and he considered killing himself because it was so awful to come out and come back to that guilt and shame. So we worked for some time, and we cleared out those beliefs that got him to think that he was responsible. He wasn't responsible. It was an accident. And what was so fascinating was to see him go from such pain to such freedom, to such joy and peace. It was powerful. And it was a joy for me to be a part of that. And that's what happens when you clear out these negative things, these awful, ugly things. Okay? Now, this is a $299 program. And this, if we can raise your financial ceiling, it would be worth paying full price for that. If we could lower your anxiety and help your guilt and your shame and fear to drop, it would be worth paying full price for that. But for Studio Spotlight 9, we would like to offer this to you for $177. We want everyone to have access to healing. We want everyone to be able to purchase that. So what we've done is we've made it available. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to pull out your smartphone, and I want you to pull up the camera app right now, and I want you to point it straight at that code. Now, mine, I have a little guy that comes up here on top that says Square Site in Safari. If you click that, that's going to open up your web browser to take you to our special link that we have specifically for this program. And as you go down to the bottom, you'll see it says checkout 177. I hope that you can see that. You can click that blue button, that checkout 177, and then it'll bring up another page. And on this page, it can show you that you're purchasing the Deep Mind Clearing for Studio Spotlight 9. And then in your details, you're going to put in your email. So let me put in my email real quick. So Bryce Poole. .com. So you should get your email in there. And then once you've got that done, what you can do is go and put your first name and your last name in there. Okay. Then Bryce, then Poole. And then last of course, putting your phone number. Now, when we get this fully done, or when you check out, I'll get an email with your email address, and then I'll add you to our system. So it's important that you get that email address in there. And then when you hit the next button, it'll take you to the payment information. And in there, all you have to do is pull out your credit card, put in your credit card number, and hit next. And it'll finish off that right there. Now, so this is why I'm so excited. You can see why I love what I do. Please continue filling that out, and I'll just finish up right here. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. This has been so much fun. It is such a pleasure to help people to find out that their belief system isn't as rigid as they thought it was, that these poisonous, negative, limiting beliefs are easily removable if you know the techniques and how to do it. And thank you for those that are purchasing right now, because we're excited for your success. We're excited for your continued relief. So thank you for letting us be here. Thanks so much.
All right. Bryce, incredible.
Okay? Did I do all right?
That was awesome. I know you're wanting to let some people ask some questions.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I know I have at least one here already. And hopefully, we're getting some more coming in.
Please ask questions if you have them.
Absolutely. So, okay, I'm just going to put this up on the screen. Let everybody know, type in their questions.
Because it's so fancy when you do that. It's really cool.
Fancy. So I am going to do this, and we're going to start with some questions.
Okay, I'm ready. What do you got? So there's a private chat. What areas of our life can we give ourselves permission in? Holy crap, that's the coolest question. My goodness, I haven't found a single area of my life that doesn't have a poisonous belief attached to it. When we were young and little kids, our parents, well, at least my parents, might have a rough day and they might take it out at the dinner table. And they'd say things like, rich people are stealing from the poor. And my dad literally said this around the table, and he said it with such fervency that I believed it very deeply. So when it came time to have my own finances, I tried really hard to keep my finances low, not consciously, but subconsciously. And so that's why, obviously, the whole financial ceiling. But I haven't found, like, if you're an athlete, like, this can make a huge difference on your mindset, especially any limiting beliefs you think, I could never do something like that. That's a great place. If you're looking for a new relationship, let's say you're recently widowed, like a friend of mine, and you're looking for a new person to be a part of your life after you've properly gone through the mourning process. Holy crap, that's so powerful to get rid of all those limiting beliefs about I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not enough, no one wants me. Get rid of all of those things. None of those are true. None of them are actually true. They feel true, but they're not actually true. And as we clear them, then you are left with a place of peace. And if you go and talk to someone who is needy, I like to put up like needy, like I want to get away from that person. But a person that gives me that freedom, that has the freedom themselves and give me that freedom, holy cow, I'm interested in that person. So I haven't found a place where this isn't effective or needed. Even needed. So it works for everything. And that's what makes my job really hard, is because I'm trying to find ways to introduce this to people when it's such a generic tool and trying to apply it in very specific ways. So what I try to do is apply it in one specific way so you can see what that looks like, and then genericize. That's not a real word, but it is right now. Genericize it to all other areas. I hope that helps. Do we got another one? I'm hoping we have another one. I have an issue where I push myself to the side in favor of others' needs. Oh, I hear you, sister. How can I get away from doing that as much and let myself take care of myself more? Okay, so what you've got clearly is a set of negative beliefs. Okay, probably I don't believe in myself. I'm not good enough. We'd want to go into, if we were doing like a breakthrough session, we would go through and we just start reviewing your childhood. What are the thoughts that are going through your head when this happens? Are you thinking like if I don't do this, people won't like me. If I don't put them first, I'm not good enough. Or even worse, Jesus wants me to always put others before me. Like, by the way, that's not true. That you can only give people what you currently have. If I have $1 million, I could give you $1 million. It may not be good for you, but I could do that. If I have a Porsche, I can give you a Porsche. If I don't have a Porsche, I can't give that to you. So until you have joy, peace, and love, and the ability to give joy, peace, and love, when you give to other people, you're giving from lack instead of abundance. So what I recommend to people is go find those beliefs that are causing you to not believe in yourself, causing yourself to feel like less than a person. Get rid of those, because none of those are true. None of them are true. We all hold on to them. I held on to them for the longest time. None of them are true. They're dragging us down. And then when you feel lifted, then you are going to give from abundance. You're going to give love. You're going to give a greater amount of peace, joy, and you're going to help people feel fantastic about themselves. And you're going to be the life of the party, because everybody loves to be around a person who loves themselves and is not needy on them. Love those kind of people. Hope that helps. If it doesn't, let me know. We can take care of that. It's not hard. What do we got? Okay. What's next? Put your comments in the chat on the side so I can. Okay. If I do something for me, I'll be taking away from someone else. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. That is such a negative belief, a limiting belief. Exactly. The funny thing about that is, what happens if you don't take care of yourself? If no one takes care of you, what happens? You're going to be in lack. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel unrested. You're going to be coming from burnout. You're headed to burnout is where you really are. In fact, I'm guessing the person we're talking to right now, you're in a level of burnout. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be asking these questions. A lot of people have to go through a certain amount of pain to become aware that these beliefs are in there. And, that's what happens. So you're coming from burnout because you're doing stuff for other people without properly taking care of me. Until you take care of me, you can't take care of someone else. So one of my favorites is the second great commandment, right? The first great commandment is love God with all your heart, mind, and mind strength. The second one is, and I bet if we were talking right now, you'd say, love others, love your neighbor. But that's not what it says. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. And that is a truth, okay? People don't realize I can only give what I have to you. So if I don't have love for myself, I can't love my neighbor because I don't have it to give. So what I tell people is learn to love yourself, accept yourself, take care of yourself, be in a place of much better abundance, and then share that love with others. Don't be afraid. In fact, if you have enough love inside of yourself, if that's your natural state of love, you will accidentally love everybody that's out there. Just when you're walking around, you'll smile and wave, and it'll be a genuine smile, and they'll feel it, and there'll be an exchange of energy, and they'll go off having been better because you were in their life. People are worried that if they take care of themselves, that they'll never stop taking care of themselves. And if that's one of your fears and concerns, clear that one. Go for that. And then clear everything that prevents you from doing all the self-care. And then once you've taken care of yourself, you'll come from abundance. And I want to be around you. Like, you're the kind of person I want to be around once you're feeling lifted and joyful, because we're going to have a great time, because I know you're not dutying me. I don't want people that duty me. I want people that love me. That's what I really want. I can tell when someone loves me and when someone's dutying me. It's not hard. So, yeah, take care of yourself. Love yourself. And do the work on everything that stops you. Absolutely. So important. Thank you so much for that question. What's next? I'm in the best health I've ever been. Ooh, that's great. I love that. I feel it's only a matter of time until something goes wrong, right? I hear you, brother. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, we have such a expectation of bad things happening to us. This is a very common thing I see all the time. It's like we just get something good, and then we're afraid someone's going to take it. I think this happens to younger siblings, right? I'm 5 of 6. And I had this idea in my head that someone's going to take my stuff, because it always happened when I was a kid. Now, just because we have okay, let me back up. I'm over 40, and I'm the kind of guy that sometimes it's a little hard to do the work on, because I have proof that my beliefs are true. I've gone through my life and things have happened to me. And so it's like, of course, these things are true. What are you talking about? They're not true. And what we don't realize is if we take a moment and really examine it, and you get into that mindset we talked about, in Deep Mind Clearing, we go into that mindset. If you get into that mindset, then you can really see around those problems and realize that the universe doesn't want to take from you. That's your belief system. That's in your mindset. If we were working one-on-one, we'd go back. When does this feel like it's going to happen? When was the first time it felt like it happened? What were you thinking at that time? What was happening in your life? I love, and this is for free. Like, this is one of my favorite ones for finding beliefs that I can't quite get. Is, if this was a movie, what would the title be? For some reason, that helps you to really get to the bottom of beliefs and to see them really clearly. And then you can get rid of and until something goes wrong. We do not need you to lose the best health of your life. We want you to keep that. So let's pull out that negative belief and let's get rid of that, because you don't need that. Not for a New York minute. Holy crap. This is the beautiful thing. It's easy to do. Once you know how to do it, once you've seen it done, once you've done it enough times, you'll start to get it and you'll start to go. That's why deep mind clearing for me is so powerful. I also offer breakthrough sessions. So if you wanted to do one-on-one where we look specifically for yours, I have over a decade of experience doing this on the phone with people. I've worked with I don't know, somewhere around 40 to 50 people, and we've had amazing results with people. So if you wanted to do a one-on-one, we could absolutely do that. If you go to profoundfreedom.com, you'll see that you can buy Deep Mind Clearing for $299. Don't do it. I just gave you a link for $177. Use the $177. But there's also a link for breakthrough sessions. And feel free to hire me. I would love to work with you. It'd be fantastic. All right, what else we got? This is awesome. This is so much fun. We should do this more often. Sometimes I feel that even though I have success, it's never enough. Holy crap. Yes, exactly. Okay, so you have a limiting belief in there that has a hole in your bucket. Okay, so as you are trying to please something, someone, or some belief. Okay, and that belief is something like, I should be better. Okay. I should be better is one of the most powerfully ugly, pernicious, poisonous beliefs that there are. Why I should be better? Because you are never enough if I should be better. Like let's say I am trying to I lose weight and I'm at 200 pounds and I should be better. I should be at 195. So then I work myself down to 195. Do I celebrate? No, I don't celebrate. I should be better. So I just keep going, 195, 190. I should be better. And then I get to 190. Do I celebrate? No, I don't celebrate. I should be better. So then I keep going, and then I finally plateau at 185. And I can never get below 185. And then I'm just beating myself up. And I'm so mean to myself. These kind of beliefs are the eternal drain on our batteries. They just drain away all the energy and leave us just feeling gutted and awful. There's no peace in feeling gutted and awful and empty. Okay. So somewhere in your belief system is like, I should be better. I'm not enough. I'm never enough. Oh, it's never enough might just be a belief, but that might be attached to something like, my father told me I'm never enough. And if you can tune into that and then do the work on that, then yeah, you can make a huge difference in your life. Because I'm going to guarantee all the people that are here, you guys are doing great. You really are. And what I really want for you is to accept yourself, accept what you've done, and then continue to shoot for the stars. But with that creation formula all lined up, with a mindset in place, with your tool set in place, and knowing what your tool set needs to be, and then finally having the energy to do that. Like, oh my gosh, people will create miracles. And already we've seen that, right? Miriam and Dan, they've had miracles in their lives. I've had miracles in my life. My wife has had miracles in her life. Why not for you? You're just as loved as a person I believe in a God. You're just as loved by God as anybody else, and you deserve miracles as much as everybody else does. And if you don't feel that, there is a limiting belief in there that is preventing it. Uh-oh, I've frozen. Was that me or is that the video? Because my camera does that sometimes. You there, Phil?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. So tell me what's next, and I'll fix my video.
All right. I'm going to pull this one off. I'm actually going to ask one.
Okay, sure. Go for it.
That's okay with you.
You bet.
Okay, so I like something you just mentioned with you kind of just brought up for a second, the weight loss. Someone went from like 200 to like 195 and didn't celebrate.
Right.
Okay, so I've recently done something like that. I was over 200 since, I gained COVID weight, let's say.
Okay.
But I got back down where
I
got on the scale one day and it said 199.4. And I was like, dang, I got under 200.
That's amazing.
And the only thing I feel like I did for celebration, let's say, was, I don't even know if it was much of a celebration, but it was more I took a picture of the scale. Posted
That's
it.
great, though.
I
I mean,
posted it and said,
sorry.
"Hey, look what I did."
See, that's wonderful because I would have went and had an ice cream and then I would have bumped it right back up past 200. That'd have been me.
Don't get me wrong. That was a thought in my head of, I did this. I'm going to go eat cheesecake. Yes.
Yes,
And I
there
was
you
like,
go.
wait. I'm only 0.6 under 200. That's gonna put me back.
Have you been able to maintain it?
Yes,
Congratulations. That's
have.
fantastic.
It hasn't, like continued down because I felt like for a long time I did not weigh enough
Uh-huh.
because of certain things I had going in my life that kind of prevented me from being able to put weight on.
Sure.
And then COVID happened and I hit about 230. I was sitting at home, not going out, just eating.
Yep.
But since I've gotten back under the 200, I haven't seen it. I mean, things fluctuate sometimes, or it's like, oh, it's 200.1, or in that ballpark.
That's
And I'm like,
fantastic.
that's fine. And I've seen it go down into like 197 area.
Okay.
That's about where I've gotten. But I'm 6 foot tall. I'm in my mid 30s. 200
You're doing
pounds
great.
is like a fair weight to be.
Yeah.
So
Good
I
job.
definitely don't want to get back down to where people go, you need food now.
That's fantastic. So you don't celebrate. Why don't you celebrate? What prevents you from celebrating?
Sometimes for me, I think that I don't know how.
Oh, you're out of practice? Okay, so what I would recommend is go look at that just a little bit further. Why don't I celebrate? And then if all it is just a lack of practice, then go practice celebrating. I would literally go practice. Like the wife actually came up with a saying. We have 5 kids, and she came up with this awesome saying, which is not practice makes perfect, practice makes better. So in my kids, they actually don't. When I say practice makes, you probably think better or perfect. My kids would say better. They just naturally. And when they heard someone say practice makes perfect, they're like, what? What's that? So I would advise you, go practice celebrating. Go find anything to celebrate. And maybe every day celebrate something more. And in fact, I might just do this for the rest of my life. Just practice the whole life.
Yeah.
Like, how good at celebrating do you think you could get if you kept practicing it? You'd be pretty fantastic. And you'd be the life of the party probably too. Like, and people would love you because you'd probably run out of things to celebrate, and you would find out your friend had something good, and you would just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And you would celebrate with them because they're having a hard time celebrating, because that's a very typical kind of thing. And then you would just be a fantastic person to be around. So practice. You got it. You can do this. And if there's something in there, we have a session coming up. Let's clear it. We'll get rid of it. So that'd be fantastic.
I had a thought in there, but then I also had maybe sometimes I do celebrate, but I don't acknowledge it as being such. Because just in you saying here, be in more practice, I sat there and thought, today alone, it was the very first day. I have 2 kids.
Okay.
Not 5, not going there.
Good for you.
My oldest is in 1st grade. So, take him to school in the morning, and he's there all day until, mid-afternoon. Okay, it's time to go get him. Today was the first day that my second son, he started preschool today.
Oh.
My wife was at work.
Okay.
I was able to go, I have time just for me? I don't have to put my focus on, because they're taken care of. They're doing what they're doing.
Yep.
I know they're safe. I know they're healthy. I know they're, doing what they want to be doing.
That's fantastic.
So if I get on the scale, it might say I'm over 200 right now. Because
it happens. You know what? We win some, we lose some. What matters is the long term, right? That long term vision. That's where it really matters.
Exactly. I decided I'm going to come home, going to relax on my couch for a while. I'm going to pick up my phone and use DoorDash, and get myself some good food to eat.
Nice. There you go. Nice. Fantastic. Right on. So do we have any more questions, or is that it?
I haven't any more come through at the moment. But
Fantastic.
I highly encourage people that if you're watching this on replay and you have questions, type them in where you're watching it. And then we can kind of monitor that over the next little bit, just in case you do have those questions. And I'm fairly certain, Bryce, you wouldn't be opposed to, typing out a response for somebody if they
You
had
bet.
one.
Absolutely. So if you do that, make sure that you get an email so that I know how to contact you. Or if you want to contact me directly at profoundfreedom@brycepoole.com, that could work too. And then I can forward those back on to you so you can add them wherever you want to add them for the Studio 9, but Studio Spotlight 9.
That sounds awesome.
Fantastic.
I think that's great. And yes, we do have a session here coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It's going to be great. I just want to say thank you, Bryce, for being here. I know for me, seeing what you're doing, I just went, oh, wow. I know there's stuff in there I can definitely get for myself. It's going to make this world of difference.
It's true for all of us. That's right.
Yes. Thank you for being here. I want to say thank you to our audience all for being here. Even if you're watching on the replay, seriously, thank you for being here and watching. And Bryce, again, thank you. And I just want to say to everyone else, we will see you next time.
All right. Take care.